Halo guys, Alurusan di sini balik lagi di Forza Horizon 4 ya. Nah, hari ini kita mau belajar sejarah. Belajar sejarah. Jadi ada series yang namanya British British Car ya, British Car. Nanti kita coba beresin seriesnya. Oke, nah kemarin tuh kita dapat barn find. Oke, kalau nggak salah cuma 8.000. Jadi kita coba jalan-jalan
They
pakai.
made 19 of these. Just 19, that's it. Last time one came up for auction, it went for nearly £10 million. Not a bad find for a couple of chums and a walk in the woods, eh?
Cakep banget ya, cakep banget. Nice. DB4, Aston DB4. Kalau nggak salah ini yang kemarin kita review malah ya waktu di video sebelumnya, yang series pertama. Oke. Oh, kita select dulu ya. Oke, kita upgrade sedikit lah, mungkin biar agak enak. Tapi udah series B sih ya. Oke, kita coba originalan dulu ya, originalan. Oke, let's go. Cakep. Nice. Oke, nah kita mau ke kemarin tuh di sini nih. Nah ini nih dia. British Racing Green ada 10 chapter, kemarin udah 1 chapter kita coba. Siapa nih? Siapa tuh? Local Motors Rally Fighter. Main lah kita simpan dulu aja. Siapa tahu butuh. Kok gak ke save ya? Share. Oke, nice.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Di video kemarin kita belum nemu barfriend lagi. Nih, kalau British Car itu dia setir
In
kanan ya,
400 yards,
sama kayak di
turn
Indo.
right.
Jadi di Eropa itu ada beberapa negara ya yang setir kanan itu,
Turn right.
termasuk British, Belanda, Jerman. Kalau kita mungkin karena Belanda jadi kita setir ke kanan.
In 400 yards, turn sharp left.
Tapi Jepang juga setir kanan sih.
Turn sharp left. In 200 yards, turn
Ini dia
right.
si setirnya, steering
Turn
wheelnya
right.
masih kayu, cantik banget.
In
Terus
200 yards, turn sharp right. Turn sharp right.
Dashboardnya juga masih kelihatan lah mobil tahun 60. Enak sih kita nggak coba transmisi.
Our Horizon
Nah,
scouts
kan.
won't stop blethering about some classic car abandoned nearby. Come help me find it and shut them up, will you?
Oke, jadi di Lakehurst Forest nih katanya ada barn farm. Kita coba sekalian lewat sebenarnya. Pas banget. Barn find apa lagi? Kenapa ya kalau nyari barn find itu kadang nggak kelihatan gitu kayak. Benar sih peribahasa ya, gajah di pelupuk mata tidak terlihat. Dia nggak ini,
In 400 yards, turn right.
nggak terlalu oversteer atau understeer gitu.
Turn right. In 200 yards, turn right.
Ini suara
Turn
hujannya
right.
realistis banget tuh. Soalnya di luar juga lagi hujan di sini. Pas banget. Oke, ini udah masuk ke lokasi ya.
You have arrived at your destination.
Oke, udah arrive, kita parkir. Kita luncurin drone. Oke, sebentar. Harus seksama nih. Kita lihat sekeliling dulu, apakah ada yang mencurigakan. Di atas. Oh, ini kebagi. Ini mungkin enak nih nyarinya. Jadi kanan kiri ya, kebagi jalan. Kita cari yang sisi sini dulu. Kelihatan nggak guys? Ada sesuatu tidak? Oke, ini ada jalan sih. Nih. Ini ada jalan setapak yang mencurigakan. Kita telusurin dulu. Telusurin. Oh, ada belokan. Ada belokan. Ada yang ke kiri. Oh, nggak ada ya. Ke kiri. Kiri ke tempat. Oke, nggak ada. Nah, ke sini. Nggak deh, mungkin di seberang jalan kali ya. Di seberang jalan itu bukan ya? Oke, nggak ada. Oke, sekarang di sini. Oh, di sini agak luas ya. Wah, ini luas banget sini. Sampai ada beberapa gundukan, terus ada jalan gitu. Wah, susah banget nyarinya nih. Ini drone-nya tuh aneh ya, maksudnya se eye levelnya tuh sama kayak mobil gitu. Padahal kan drone bisa lebih tinggi. Oke, tadi nggak ada di situ ya. Lagi. Wah, ini dekat-dekat apa? Di sela-sela pohon gini susah banget sih nyarinya. Yang kemarin aja di pinggir danau aja nggak kelihatan. Coba harus searching YouTube dulu. Oke, sebelah sana nggak ada ya, udah tadi udah cari. Hmm, harusnya di dekat-dekat jalur jalur mobil nggak sih? Nah, ini susah banget gitu sih aksesnya. Nah, oke ketemu, bener kan? Oke. Berarti bener deket jalan muter dulu bang. Kira-kira dapat apa ya? Masih kalau kita lihat dari ini sih udah tinggal yang legendary semua. Oh, ini.
How did you find another? Why am I asking? Be there soon.
Aneh deh. Wah, Subaru. Wah, WRX Impreza. Wow.
Will
Ini
you have
udah
a look
jelas
at
lah jadi
that?
mobil rally.
One for me,
Kasih.
finally. It's an Impreza 22B, an old rally gem. Only a small handful were imported into the UK, so this is a really rare find. Come on, let's get it fixed up. I'll get it back to the garage, shall I? Might even keep this one for myself.
Nice. Subaru. Oke, kita lanjutin. Lumayan lah, 10 menit nyari Subaru. Sebenarnya dari ini dia nggak ada spion. Oke, nice. Oh, gitu sini ada bendungan ya? Oh, enggak?
In 400 yards, turn right. Turn right.
Ah,
In 200 yards, turn left. Turn left.
hujannya di sini di gamenya hujannya berhenti ya. Kedengeran nggak tuh? Buset, pakai traktor. Mana Pak? Aduh. Mobil antik ditabrak-tabrak gimana sih? Ini perasaan aja atau emang agak
In 400 yards, turn left.
padat ya di jalan.
Turn left. In 400 yards, turn right. Turn right.
Kenapa, Dek?
You have arrived at your destination.
This is shaping up nicely.
Utility vehicle.
Time for a change of pace, though. At least at first. The next segment is about Land Rover, and we'll
Land
be starting
Rover,
out with the Type 3.
Land Rover tuh buatan ini ya, buatan Inggris ternyata. Wah, ini kalau race gini susah sih. Harus ganti dulu.
Land Rover, the British sports utility vehicle. But before that, they were actual utility vehicles. Solid, tough trucks, unstoppable over almost any terrain.
In 400 yards, turn left.
The Land Rover Type 3 marks the point where that shift begins, and we'll be looking at what that meant.
Ini kenapa syutingnya gelap-gelap gini?
Land Rovers have taken on almost every task imaginable. They've been generators, tractors, and ambulances. They've brought peace and carried medicines to disaster zones. They've even been buses. Over 500,000 Series 3s were built, and over 70% of those are still on the road today. They were extensively exported and built under license abroad. Belgium, South Africa, even Australia and New Zealand. With a robust chassis and signature Land Rover engineering, the Type 3 also marked the first time that buyers could choose interior options, like seat box protectors and cubby boxes. That trend continued, and by 1982, Land Rover were offering the county spec Type 3. Leisure drivers could choose from such luxuries as all-cloth seats, soundproofing, and tinted glass. The trend was increasingly clear, and the future of the Land Rover was starting to take shape. If you squinted, you could already see the shape of the first sports utility vehicle, the Range Rover.
Seru ya. Kira sejarahnya
While the
segitu.
stock Type 3 would never be particularly fast uphill, there is almost no hill that it couldn't climb. Or dam, for that matter, if you put a proper winch on it. In 1978, a Series 3 was custom built for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. It only had 1,892 miles on the clock when it was auctioned into private hands. And it was in perfect condition. It would be. After all, she trained as a mechanic in the 1940s and will likely remain the only royal able to strip and rebuild an engine.
Turn left. In 200 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
Along with the Range Rover, others would follow. Discovery, Defender, and the Freelander. Each a more sophisticated and enjoyable utility vehicle. But none of them were a replacement for the Type 3. They were a different kind of car.
Oke, itu yang lampau ya, berarti masih ada lagi yang sekarang ya kan?
The Type 3 was arguably the first sports utility vehicle, an evolution of the design that would lead ultimately to this. The Bowler Nemesis, an off-road
Bowler
racing
Nemesis.
vehicle that turned into a production SUV, the Nemesis EXR.
Ini yang
It sports a turbocharged 5-litre Land Rover Jaguar engine, crammed into a carbon fibre chassis with integral roll cage. It even has the grille, headlights and rear lights from a Range Rover.
oke. yang modernnya ini kencang banget. Disuruh hit target gitu.
If you want to see what the Type 3 would be like if it ever stopped doing important things, this is it. And it's beautiful.
Ada ini.
This is an all-terrain supercar. That's the only fair description for this. But that's what you get when you build an SUV with Land Rover DNA.
Sebenarnya nggak mirip-mirip banget ya, cuman ya tadi ya dia bilang Land Rover DNA, jadi nggak mirip, cuman adalah yang dikit-dikit yang diambil dari Land Rover. Nice. Mungkin di Indo juga masih banyak ya Land Rover yang sama kayak yang tadi. Next. Sebenarnya lebih menarik mobil vintage-nya nggak sih? Wah, iya dong.
Hope you're
Lotus.
enjoying yourself. I know I am. It's great to be able to just focus on telling the story while someone else handles the driving for once. Let's get to the next one. This time, it's Lotus.
Wow, 2 pintu nih. Oh, dashboardnya keren ya, vintage banget.
Lotus Engineering Limited began as many stories in British engineering do, in an old barn. The first Lotus cars were offered as kits. You built them yourself. From 1962, they began to actually build the cars themselves. The Elan Sprint showed exactly what they intended to do. Built around a steel backbone with a fiberglass chassis, the Sprint weighed in at a meager 687 kilos parked on the curb. On the road, this translated into brilliant agility and fantastic performance.
Lightweight ya dia.
Designer
ringan.
Colin Chapman famously said, "Adding power makes you faster on the straights. Subtracting weight makes you faster everywhere." He knew what he was talking about.
Jadi dia bikin mobilnya kencang tuh dengan mengurangi
In 100 yards, turn left.
berat mobilnya ya.
Widely hailed as one of the greatest sports cars of the 1960s, the Elan would be closely studied and emulated, inspiring such masterpieces as the Mazda MX-5. The Elan has all the energy, style, and enthusiasm you would expect. Bold, quick, and fun. So much so that they put it in the name.
Nice. Lucu sih ini, kayak kodok si muka depannya. Iya.
The Elan Sprint
dong.
was a financial as
Mirip
well as an
banget ini.
engineering success for Lotus,
Kecil,
validating their
ringan.
approach to design and resulting in a whole family of light, agile roadsters.
Ya, roadsters.
Which brings us to this, the Lotus Exige. It's heavier than the Elan, admittedly, but it's faster. Much,
jauh.
much faster. Touch the pedal, the Exige responds with instant, relentless acceleration,
Suaranya.
as you'd expect. With a 0 to 60 time of 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 170 before upgrades and tuning, the Exige is uncompromising.
Oh, tapi ini ya, apa namanya? Agak gampang ngedrift nih, jadi benar-benar harus enak nih cuman speednya.
And there's no power steering, so you can really feel the road. A genuinely thrilling drive, and one that isn't afraid to demand you take it seriously.
In 400 yards, turn left. Turn left.
Nggak cukup waktunya. Mungkin 2 star mungkin. Iya, 2 star.
In 400 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
And with rumoured launches of 2 new cars in 2020, Lotus looks set to push the benchmark of the experienced sports car well into the next century.
Ya, 1 star. Jadil ya. Apa? Kencana. Oke, nice. Seru ya, Lotus. Bisa di Land Rover. Yang pertama tuh Aston Martin.
I spoke to Kira and apparently there's a rule and I'm not allowed to keep this Subaru, so you better come down and get it.
Oke. Subarunya udah jadi, guys. Ya, mungkin next video ya. Ini masih pakai.
Done much rallying? That's a joke. We've all seen what you've been up to. We're doing the next bit on location. You'll see why when you get there.
Oke. Kirain ini juga kan Aston Martin. Kita malah disuruh pergi dulu. Kayaknya pabriknya mungkin ada di sekitar sini kalau pabrik mobil. Dulu tuh kan kalau mobil tuh handmade dari semua ya, itu handmade. Dan entah kenapa di Inggris tuh banyak buat pabrik-pabrik mobil. Ya, MG ini belum MG. Morris Garage. Tottenham juga Inggris. Lagi banyak sih. Jaguar kan Inggris. Dulu pas masih handmade. Kalau sekarang pindah ke India. Oke, sebentar. Oke.
In 400 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
Oh, deket ya, deket. Oke.
Ford, that
Ford.
most American of cars. But the Ford Escort, oh, that's
Ya,
British.
bener.
And more than that, the Escort would become for many synonymous with Group B. In the 70s, Ford had embraced that destiny so firmly that they'd begun their own championships to find new drivers. Drivers for cars like the RS 1800.
Bener. Ford tuh
This was a
Amerika
car
tapi
designed explicitly for rallying, with a powerful fuel-injected 1790cc Cosworth BDE engine. Homologation rules required that all cars entered into the Group be production, so Ford built 200 of them. The RS 1800 raced to victory after victory across the rallying world, on almost every continent and across every terrain type imaginable. This car was basically unbeatable. The RS 1800 brought home 17 World
Wow.
Rally Championship victories for
17.
Ford. So, of course, Ford set out to design a better one. The RS 200 Evolution was their answer. A purpose-built rally car designed to do one thing: win Group B. With a 1.8 turbocharged Ford Cosworth BDT engine and all-wheel drive, the RS 200 had perhaps the best suspension platform of any car of its era. The chassis was fiberglass from Reliant, and the massive Ford parts bin was raided to give the car that iconic look.
No.
But while the car had potential, turbo lag at low RPM and a poor power-to-weight ratio meant that it never placed better than third. The end of Group B in the mid-80s meant the end of the RS 200 as a rallying car. Fortunately, Ford built over 200 as part of the homologation requirements for Group B, so you can still find
Udah
them,
sedetik.
if you're lucky.
Oke, nice. Lucu sih ini mobilnya, kayak aneh gak sih? Aneh sih. Tapi kenceng emang rally. Buat rally. Oke. Dapat baju, lumayan lah. Gak pernah ganti baju tapi. Oke, next. Seru kita sambil.
You know, I really like this car. Not that I'd want to
Kita udah
drive it for
punya
too
ini, kita
long.
udah nemu di
Squeeze
Banpai
yourself
nih.
in there and let's see just how fast you can make it go. Which won't be too fast. But hey, I could be surprised.
Susah, Bu.
The Peel P50 has the dubious honour of being the smallest production car in the world. A one-door microcar coupe, featuring a 42cc air-cooled engine capable of a heinous 38 miles an hour. And a handle, so you can pick it up and carry it with you when you get to work. And keep in mind that this is the production version. The prototype had the single wheel at the front.
Lawat banget.
Why would you think that was a good idea? In 2010, though, production restarted at Sutton-in-Ashfield. So,
43.
if you'd like to own the modern incarnation of this, I suppose you can.
Jadi tahun 2010 dia produksi lagi. Kayak kurang kerjaan gitu. Kita kan punya ya, yang dimodif saking kencengnya jadi ridiculous banget, kayak nggak mungkin gitu. Terus ngalahin mobil-mobil Jaguar kayak what? Next. Apa lagi nih? MG sih, MG Morris Garage. Oh.
Hey there! How about a car with some actual legroom and some actual speed? This section's about what happened when McLaren decided to make a road car. You're going to enjoy this.
McLaren. Lupa ya, ternyata McLaren tuh.
The track and the road have very different requirements.
Embarrassing.
For McLaren, that was a challenge they were more than willing to embrace. In 1988, they set out to create the finest sports car the world has ever seen.
1988
By
loh ini.
1993, they had achieved their goal, and the honestly fantastic
Dashboardnya
F1 was
aja
the result.
masih kelihatan
106
banget
would be
jadinya.
built across all variants, and it remains one of the very best road cars ever made. The F1 has no turbocharger. That would have compromised the driving experience, increased complexity, and resulted in turbo lag. The F1 is a naturally aspirated supercar, one of the fastest in the world, in fact. Everything about this car is innovative, from the carbon fibre monocoque to the central driver position. McLaren threw the book away when they designed the F1, then they wrote a better one. The F1's monocoque chassis is incredibly lightweight, only 100 kilos all told, which posed a significant challenge because carbon fibre and fiberglass
Sorry.
aren't great insulators. So, McLaren lined the entire engine compartment with gold. In 1998, the F1 prototype set the world record for fastest production car, a record that would stand for 2 decades until the
20
Koenigsegg
tahun.
CCR claimed the crown. McLaren's racing heritage is so deeply ingrained in this machine that when they took it to Le Mans in 1995 and faced off against purpose-built racing machines, they won.
Keren banget ya McLaren. Sekarang lagi ada lagi yang lebih kencangnya. Gokil.
So, with something like the F1 to live up to, where do you go next? Well, you throw the book away
P1.
again and write an even better one. The result is the McLaren P1, a hybrid electric sports car that stands head and shoulders above the F1. The P1 GTR will hit 60 miles an hour in 2.4 seconds. That's 0.7 seconds faster than the F1. That's an eternity for a supercar. The car's blistering performance
Ampun.
is delivered by a twin-turbo V8, supplemented by a McLaren ECU electric motor and instant power assist system. And they do mean instant.
At the roundabout, Take the third exit.
Mana sih? Kesana.
Remember those problems with turbo lag? McLaren solved that with the hybrid drive. While the turbos build pressure, the electric motor drives the wheels. No turbo lag, just torque. And because it's a hybrid, it has an all-electric range. Running on batteries alone, that's 6.2 miles. A bit more if you're going downhill.
Nice. McLaren ternyata dari nggak nyangka, nggak tahu lah. Nice banget ya, keren. Next.
I quite like sleeper cars. Did Alex ever tell you the story of what we got up to in Colorado?
We should ya.
There was this sleeper car competition, you see. Let's just say no one was ready for the sunbeam. Lotus never quite let go of the upgrade game. So in addition to building their own supercars, they upgraded cars from other marques too. The Lotus Carlton was one such aftermarket upgrade. Lotus took a respectable four-door Vauxhall saloon and turned it into a supercar. From the outside, there are a few signs that this is something special. Wider wheel arches, that sort of thing. But under the bonnet, that's where the magic starts.
Ini aneh sih mobil.
Engine capacity was increased to 3.6 litres, and twin Garrett T25 turbochargers were added.
Okay, guys.
Engine block was reinforced, and new crankshafts were forged by Opel and machined in Germany.
Come on, man.
At the roundabout, take the third exit.
The tyres were widened, and the tyre compound from the Lotus Esprit was used. To handle camber change issues, they put in the self-leveling suspension from the Opel Senator. The only upgrade they didn't put in was an electronic speed limiter. All of this resulted in the Lotus Carlton, designated Type 104 by Lotus. A 177 miles per hour supercar, masquerading as a four-door saloon. Only 950 of these custom gems were built, and they've become something of a modern classic. The Lotus Carlton was an example of how to turn a saloon into a supercar, but that's not the only thing Lotus got up to. In 1979, Chrysler approached Lotus to create a strict rally version of their Sunbeam three-door hatchback. Lotus, as you might imagine, rather enjoyed the challenge.
Kocak ya. Dimodif-modif aja gitu padahal dia. Ini emang Lotus tuh semacam dah.
The rear-wheel drive hatchback and changed everything that matters. They stiffened the suspension, improved the anti-roll bars, and widened the transmission tunnel.
Ini dulu mah nggak ada sih yang namanya apa modif-modif mobil gitu ya. Jadi
Performance was
Lotus
increased
tuh
by
kayak
fitting a 2.2-litre version of the Lotus 911 Slant four-cylinder engine, resulting in an impressive 250 brake horsepower, up from a meager 105 on the original.
mobil dulu tuh enteng banget.
The
sih
Lotus
perasaan.
Sunbeam was revealed to the public in 1979 in Geneva to widespread praise in the motoring media. More importantly, the Lotus Sunbeam saw racing success too. In 1980, Henri Toivonen won the 29th Lombard RAC Rally in his Sunbeam.
Oke, start dulu. Iya.
It almost makes you wonder if Lotus should do more conversion. It's a silly question, actually. Lotus should do more conversions. In fact, I'll call them right now.
Jagonya modif mereka. Yang lain kayak jual ya udah gitu aja. Dia mah mau punya apa? Gue modif. Next chapter. Halo, halo, halo. Tes. Oke, mana.
I honestly think these might be some of the most beautiful cars in the world.
Iya.
And
Ini kita
the
udah dapet
story
kan
of how it came about
mobilnya
is,
di
well, really British. Get in the car and let's get this segment.
Barn Find.
Jaguar is a bit of a favourite of mine. The company is almost 100 years old and was originally founded to build sidecars for motorcycles. But this is the car that really set the bar, I think. The 1961 E-Type. When he saw it, Enzo Ferrari called it the most beautiful car in the world. High praise indeed. He wasn't alone in his admiration. Accolades have followed this car ever since. It's been in movies, comics, games, and TV shows. Unlike some later cars in the mark, it wasn't just looks though. The E-Type was light and fast. It would do 153 miles an hour and stopped on innovative four-wheel brakes that were better than anything Ferrari or Porsche or even Mercedes-Benz had. It was solid too, with a design based on the D-Type that won the 24 Hours of Le Mans 3 years in a row.
At the roundabout, take the second exit. Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Anyone who owns an E-Type will tell you that the key to their reliability is to drive them regularly, as if you'd need the excuse.
Jadi emang harus dipakai tiap hari
About
katanya
2,500 were built,
biar awet.
and
Jadi
they're a
kalau
common
misalnya kalian
sight at
punya
auto
mobil
shows, and
jadul
surprisingly
gitu,
reasonably priced.
makin disimpan
All
makin
in all,
makin
an
cepat.
almost perfect Jaguar.
Ya, nice. Terus yang sekarang, wow.
The E-Type was the successor to the Le Mans winning D-Type. But what would that look like if Jaguar designed it today? In 2013, Jaguar answered that question with the F-Type Project 7, a spiritual successor to the E-Type, and designed from the ground up to be the purest, most enjoyable Jaguar yet. The car's heritage is proudly displayed in the gorgeous D-Type curves and the distinctive aero hunt behind the driving position. But like the E-Type, it's not just a pretty face.
Si belakang itu kenapa cuma sebelah gitu? Ini nggak akan
Powered by a
ngaruh sama
5-litre V8 supercharged engine. With a fully aluminium body, it's blisteringly fast, with a 0 to 60 speed of 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 186 miles an hour. A car as beautiful as this must surely have been a carefully authored design. Actually, it started as a sketch by designer César Pierre, thrown together one Friday in his free time. Jaguar's design director, Ian Callum, saw the sketch in a thumbnail on César's computer during a meeting and asked him what it was. The rest is history.
seru ya.
250 Project 7s were built, as both a successor to the E-Type and as a celebration of Jaguar's victories at Le Mans.
Menurut lipat
I think I speak for all of us when I say, thank heavens for César's Friday afternoon doodle.
dari sketch doang. Gokil. Banyak banget ya sejarahnya British loh. Jadi makin pengen pindah. Oke, next.
We're
Iya,
almost
jelas
done,
dong pasti.
but
Ada
we
mini
saved
pasti.
the good stuff for last. A spot of rallying in the most British car
Oh,
of
ini
them
yang
all.
menang
Get in,
rally
strap
nih.
in, and let's nail this
Apa?
one.
Build-nya. Iya benar.
There is one car built in Great Britain that is, quite fairly, considered one of the most influential cars of the century. It's a surprisingly spacious little city car with a side-mounted engine. It's an icon of popular culture. It's been built on every continent where there's a car factory. It's the Mini. The Mini Cooper S was built to be a performance machine with deeper engines, twin carburetors and front disc brakes. This scrappy little machine would go on to achieve more than 30 racing victories in the 1960s and 1970s. A Mini Cooper S flying number 37 placed first at the 1964 Monte Carlo Rally. Driven by Paddy Hopkirk and Henry Liddon, this was the last time an all-British crew would win the event. But not the last time a Mini would. At Monte Carlo in 1966, Minis took the first, second and third positions. They were all disqualified because they had dimming headlamps, not because they were winning everything in sight. In 1999, the Car of the Century Award was presented to the most influential car of the 20th century. The Mini came second. It was beaten by the Model T Ford. That's fair, I suppose. 5.3 million Minis would be sold, making it the most popular British car.
5,3 juta mini yang terjual. Itu tersebar di seluruh Indonesia, di seluruh dunia tuh.
And then in 2000, BMW resumed production of the Mini, breathing new life into the iconic mark. If the Mini of the 1960s had its sights set on the roads of Monte Carlo, the X-rayed Countryman has its eyes on something a little tougher.
Jadi gede ya, nggak mini lagi nih.
The deserts and rough terrain of the Dakar, for starters. A wit once said that the only thing mini in this monster was the pedal. That's rather missing the point, I think. The X-rayed Countryman is much, much bigger than the Mini Cooper. It has to be. A stage of the Dakar demands literally tons of gear. You could call it a tank. It does rather sound like one. When Mini's X-Raid division set out to build this thing, they had one goal in mind: winning the Dakar. And they did, every year, from 2012 to 2015.
In 400 yards, turn right.
Keren ya, 3 tahun berturut-turut
It's designed to
menang
be
Dakar.
driven for 2 weeks over
Alah, masih itu mau di
the deserts and badlands, 5 kilometers above sea level. And it still handles like a hot hatch on a nice bit of dry asphalt.
fish Malawung guys.
Turn right.
Owners come and go. The heritage of a car like the Mini is more than who owns the keys to the shop. I fully expect to see Mini's wings flying for another century.
Mini ya. Asik kayaknya kalau ada mobil produksi sekarang sekecil Mini gitu. Bannya tuh kayak segede Vespa nggak sih ban Mini tuh? Motor Vespa. Skip aja lah. Keren-keren ya mobil-mobilnya. Oke, next.
This is quite the
jelas,
story.
Bentley.
Bentley at Le Mans in the 1930s. Gentlemen racers, heroic driving, and a personal hero of mine. Take good care of the cars, though. Both of them are mine. Bentley, a company founded in 1919 in Cricklewood, North London, and purchased by Rolls-Royce in the 30s. A company synonymous with both racing and luxury. Perhaps the best example I know of those two extremes of British engineering. For almost a century, every Bentley was hand-built to exacting standards. So at the beginning of the 21st century, when Bentley revealed their first mass-produced car, there were a great many questions. The car was the Continental GT, an elegant grand tourer that combined a racetrack pedigree with exquisite style and all the power you could need. The move to mass production has done nothing to blunt the Bentley experience. The 2017 Continental Supersport is responsive, fast, and beautifully designed. That was spectacular! Take a breather and let's try again with less excitement. Bentley, a company founded in 1919 in Cricklewood, North London, and purchased by Rolls-Royce in the 30s. A company synonymous with both racing and luxury. Perhaps the best example I know of those two extremes of British engineering. For almost a century, every Bentley was hand-built to exacting standards. So at the beginning of the 21st century, when Bentley revealed their first mass-produced car, there were a great many questions. The car was the Continental GT, an elegant grand tourer that combined a racetrack pedigree with exquisite style and all the power you could need.
Ya, Bentley itu luxury banget sih dia. Desain terus interiornya.
The move to mass production has done nothing to blunt the Bentley experience. The 2017 Continental Supersport is responsive, fast, and beautifully designed.
Terus khasnya tuh Bentley tuh ini apa, ngebas si suara mesinnya tuh ngebas.
It brings together all-wheel drive, carbon fiber bonnet sides and side skirts to create the most powerful performance-focused car the company has ever built. But never forget, Bentley's pedigree is racing, and the Bentley Continental embraces that. In 2007, a largely standard Continental Speed GT broke Bugatti's record for the flying kilometre on the frozen Baltic Sea. And then in 2011, they broke their own record. 205 miles an hour, both ways, on ice. Even when building these gorgeous Grand Tourers, Bentley is driven to excellence. Today, Bentley means modern, peerless luxury and elegance. But that's far from the full story.
Wah, keren banget. Oh,
A century ago, Bentley meant something else entirely. It meant Le Mans. In 1930, eccentric race team owner Dorothy Paget financed a rather special Bentley at the Le Mans. It was a 4.5-litre supercharged masterpiece, driven by Sir Henry Bentley Boy Birkin. It posted the fastest time on the day, but it failed to finish. But what a race it was. Sir Henry's courageous driving forced Rudolf Caracciola's 7-litre Mercedes out of the race at the cost of his own victory. But in doing so, he handed the day to the Bentley Sixes, a gentleman racer indeed. Sir Henry knew he didn't have anything to prove. In 1929, the adventurer Mrs. Mary Victor Bruce had already driven the resolutely modern 4.5-litre Bentley at Montlhéry, setting distance, speed and endurance records. The Bentley's performance so annoyed Ettore Bugatti that he called it the world's fastest lorry. The blower had the last laugh, though. In 2012, it was sold at auction for over £4 million,
wow.
which is more than enough to buy a Veyron and a racing truck, if you're keeping score.
Keren sih. Keren. Tapi nggak finish ya. Sayang banget. Bisanya mencetak sejarah udah.
Like I told them, can't make a film about car culture around here without you in it, can they? I'll let you know if they need you back.
Oke. Itu dia British Racing Green. Messi sama sejarahnya. Oke, kita balik dulu ke safe house. Subaru-nya udah beres di restorasi tadi sama si Joel, entahlah itu apanya. Kita lihat dulu. Ini nggak kerasa kayak barn fun ya sebenarnya, karena masih tahun apa ya, nggak lama dari present gitu si mobil. Barn fun ini ya 1998 gitu kan, kayak mana ini kan 86, 93 ya, ini lebih baru lagi sih, enggak ya lebih baru ini kan 98 coba. Ini 65, 66, 61, 62, 60, 86. Ya ini 1998 gitu. Oke.
Look, enjoy, but be careful, eh? Last owner must have got a bit excited on a corner. Tore off the whole rear wheel and suspension. I very kindly put them back on for you.
Oh, nice. Oke, kita coba upgrade. Coba ganti livernya juga. Ya, kebanyakan memang rally sih. Nah, ini nih. Ini ikonik banget ya sih ini. Bener. Wah, niat banget. Ini keren banget sih ini. Ini yang menang rally itu ini nih, kalau nggak salah, si desainnya. Nice. Coba kita tuning. Sebenarnya kalau jadi S tuh kadang nggak enak gitu ya, karena acceleration. Nah itu kalau acceleration sama launchnya itu di fullin, itu kadang handlingnya jadi berantakan. Ini 8,2 nih handling, dan paling tinggi ya ini berapa, 926. Iya, 926. Kita coba yang ini. Jadi seperti apakah Subarunya? Oke. Wah, keren sih. Mobil rally banget ini. World Rally Team. Gak bisa belok bu. Gak bisa belok bu. Harus di slide. Iya, harus di slide beloknya. Oke, nanti kita coba-coba pakai mobil ini buat di beberapa race ya. Oke, thank you udah nonton video ini. See you in the next video. Bye bye.